All right, so in my program so far, when I run it, my one-player button doesn't work, but my two-player button does, and it's just taking me to the board with a red screen. So I want to now, make this look pretty and have a theme to it, and then draw my lines, and then get ready to go and draw my X's and O's. So I'm first going to go to the web, and I'm going to choose a Simpsons theme. So I'm going to look for some Simpsons background. Okay, so you want to look for something simple. So like these clouds, for example, perfect. It's not too cluttered, which could be hard to read the X's and O's. So you want to try and find something fairly simple. Another little tip is try and if you hover your mouse over these images, it tells you the size in pixels. So I definitely want something larger than 900 by 900. It's always better to find something bigger, and you can always make it smaller. You can resize it. If you find something too small, like this one, you can resize it larger, but then you're going to lose resolution. It's going to be all pixely and blurry, and we don't want that. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to copy this image, and I'm going to go over to my Google drawing. Okay, there's my old one. So let's start a new drawing. And I am going to resize this to 900 by 900. Okay. Pixels. 900 by 900. Okay, and then let's see if I can paste. Let's see what happens here. Okay, wow, so it's a little bit small, which is interesting. Okay, I may have done something wrong here. I'm going to delete this and go back to this website. Sometimes when you grab images from this little thumbnail, you're not actually getting the full image. So sometimes you got to follow the link. So I'm going to click and go to the website. And now, yeah, okay, so this is just a preview, I see. So I want to get the full resolution original file. So let's see here, if I click on this, aha, much bigger. Okay, so I'm gonna right click and copy image. And now let's go back to my drawing. And then I'm gonna paste it here. Huh, still too small. What if I try and drag it? If I drag it to that tab and drop it. Weird, okay. Well, let's just try and resize it and see what happens. Again, I'm kind of new to using this Google Drawing, so maybe when you paste it in, it makes it a certain size that's smaller than your canvas. I'm not quite sure, but this actually might be okay. So now I'm going to save it. So I want to download as. Now here, I'm just going to save it as a JPEG. I don't need to do a PNG because there's no transparent background. This whole thing is the background. So I'm just going to save it as a JPEG. And again, since I'm using Chrome, it just automatically saves it here. So I'm going to open it. Actually, I'm going to show in folder. Oops. I think what it did is it went to my downloads folder. Here, let me try that one more time. Download as JPEG. Okay, and I'm going to drag it, not there. I want to go up to my folder. So it's in my desktop. So I'm just going to drop it there for a second. And then I'm going to drag it into my TicTacToe project. Okay, so hopefully you follow that. That was a little weird, but just any way you can save this into your project. My folder is on the desktop, and I'm going to rename this to clouds. Okay. To speed up this process, you might be able to just go to that web page, right click, and save image as, and then just instead of going to Google Drawing, you could probably just save it directly to your folder. But just remember that the size of it might be too big, so you may have to resize that. Okay, so now I'm going to go to my code, and inside my tic-tac-toe game, okay, so when I draw I have this method called draw board, and so instead of drawing a big red rectangle, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to the top where all of my initial variables are created, and I'm going to make another image called background 2. Actually, sorry, no, I haven't used background yet, so I'll use that one as my background. I'm gonna use that one. So in my constructor method here, this first method, tic-tac-toe game, there's this try catch statement, and this is where we're gonna load all of our the images. So my background is gonna be image.io.read new file, and then clouds.jpg. Did I use a capital C? Let me double check there. Oh, I did. Okay, so capital C, and let me just double check. Is it a JPEG? Yes, it is a JPEG file. Now, so as long as this file is saved in your project, then this should work. So now I'm going to go down to the draw board method once again, and instead of doing this, I'm going to say g.drawImage, and then I'm going to put in, this is my background variable, and I'm going to drop it at 0, 0, so that the top left corner will be at 0, 0, and then we're just going to put the word null here. Okay, and let's see if it works. So I'm going to compile, and let's go to my project and run the main. Okay, and when I click on the 2 players, all right. That's pretty good. That's not bad. That's not too blurry or pixely. It looks okay. So you may have to resize your image if it's way too big for the screen. So again, when you're searching for an image, look for something that is relatively the same size as your window. So mine is 900 by 900. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do in this video is I'm just going to draw one of the lines, and then I'll let you draw the other 3 lines, or if you want to do a bigger grid, like a 5 by 5, then I'll let you do that as well. If you're interested in doing a 3D board, you can do something like this. And now this is a challenge, and it's kind of a commitment to take on, but I think it can be done. What you would draw are these kind of 3-dimensional squares. So kind of as if you're looking at it on an angle. And then each square is a 3 by 3 tic-tac-toe grid. Okay, kind of like that. And then hopefully you can see this kind of 3-dimensional shape to it. It's kind of like a cube. If I had these imaginary lines here. It's kind of like a big cube. So anyway, the first player can go maybe up here, and there's an X, and then the second player can go anywhere, can go way down here, and then maybe the first player goes here, and so then the next player would want to block 3-dimensionally, so they would go here, and then the X would block here, and then maybe O goes here, and O is thinking, oh, I'm going to win. But X can go right up here, and X actually won the game. I don't know if you can see that, but 3-dimensionally, the X won. So this would be kind of cool to do. It would take a little bit of time, but it could be done. So I'll let you figure out which one you want to do. In this video series, I'm just going to stick to a 3x3, and then you can take it from there. So what I'm going to do is draw this line right here. So you'll notice that it starts at 300, 0, and of course it's 900 pixels long. I don't know why this button is here. I'm going to get rid of it. Okay, just erase that stuff. Clean this up a little bit. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so in order to draw that line, I'm going to go to my draw board code. Oh, you also have to think about what color you want to draw that line. I mean, for me, a white line would be nice. That would probably look good here. So you want to make sure that you draw a line that you can see. So in my draw board method, you can do one of two things. So first I'm going to set the color to white. You can either do this. You can either draw line. There's actually a command called draw line. And I'm going to draw it from 300, 0. So that's the top left, right? That's the top of the line, or that's one point. And then I want to draw it to this other point. And this other point is, that coordinate would be 300, 900, right? From X, it'd be 300 over, 900 down. So in my code, I would say 300, 900. So when you use this command draw line, you have to specify x1, y1, and then x2, y2. So you're specifying the actual two coordinates that you're drawing the line between. Okay, so if we try that, compile, run it, we should see a line. All right, there it is. Now, I want to make that a little bit thicker. So you could draw several lines side by side, or I could draw a really thin rectangle. And that's what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to draw a really thin rectangle that starts here and goes to here, and then all the way to the bottom like this. So that point right there, the top left corner, I'm just going to make it 2 pixels away from 300. So that's going to be 298, 0. And then the width is going to be, I'm going to make it 4 pixels. Sorry, it's kind of small there. So the width of this small rectangle is 4, and then the height of this is 900. So when you draw a rectangle, you have to specify the top left corner, and then the width, and then the height of the rectangle. So going back to my code, instead of draw a line, I'm gonna say fill rect, and instead of 300, the top left corner is going to be 298, 0, and then the width is 4 pixels, and the height is 900. Okay, so this should look a little bit better. So I'm going to compile and run it. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to stop the video here. I'm going to let you draw the other 3 lines, or if you want to do something a little more challenging, feel free to do that. The other thing I'll mention is now that I've chosen a theme, my Simpsons theme, you know, I may want to go back and change the home screen because it doesn't really kind of go with my theme right now. For the purposes of these videos, I'm just going to leave it. I'll let you do that work and be creative and change up your title screen to better match the theme of your game. Okay, so have fun with it, and we'll see you in the next video.